Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A1 English Podcast, the English podcast where we have real conversations to help you sound more natural, more confident, and more fluent every single day.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Jack. And today, we have a big one for you.
Yes, today's topic is something so many English learners tell us scares them. It makes their heart beat fast, their hands sweat, their mind go completely blank.
We're talking about giving presentations in English.
Presentations at school, at work, at meetings, in front of people who are waiting for you to speak.
And here's something important. This fear, it's not just an English learner problem. Even native English speakers are afraid of public speaking.
That's so true. In fact, surveys show that public speaking is one of the top fears for people all around the world. Number one in many countries, above spiders, above heights, even above death.
So if you feel nervous, you are completely 100% normal. You are not alone.
But here's the good news. Presenting confidently in English, it is a skill, and skills can be learned, skills can be practiced, and skills can be improved by anyone.
By the end of today's episode, you will know exactly what to say at the beginning, middle, and end of a presentation. You'll have real phrases you can use immediately, and most importantly, you'll feel less scared.
Not perfect, but confident. And confidence is what people actually remember.
Before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome to A1 English Podcast. We upload new episodes every day to help you learn English naturally. Hit subscribe so you never miss one.
All right, let's go. No stress, no boring grammar rules, just real English for real life.
Okay, Jessica, let me ask you something personal. Do you remember your very first presentation in English?
Oh my goodness, yes. I was in university. I had to present in front of 30 students and my professor. And I had practiced for a whole week. I knew everything, every word. What happened? I stood up, I looked at everyone, and my mind completely went blank, like someone pressed the delete button on my brain. Oh no, that's the worst feeling. The worst. I just stood there for what felt like 5 minutes. It was probably 5 seconds. And then I just said, good morning. And everyone waited patiently.
That is so relatable. And that's exactly why we need to talk about this today. Because that moment, that blank mind moment, it happens to almost everyone.
Now, why does this happen? Let's talk about the real reasons people feel scared when presenting in English.
Reason number 1, fear of making mistakes. English learners often think, what if I pronounce something wrong? What if I use the wrong word? What if people laugh?
And this fear actually makes you worse. The more you worry about mistakes, the more mistakes you make. It's a terrible cycle.
Reason number 2, fear of silence. What if you forget what to say and there's a long, awkward silence? This terrifies people.
And reason number 3, not knowing the right phrases. In your own language, you know exactly how to start, how to move between points, how to end. In English, maybe not so much.
Exactly. So today, we're going to fix number 3 completely. Because when you have the right phrases ready, the fear of mistakes and the fear of silence become much, much smaller.
It's like having a safety net. Even if you feel nervous, you always have something to say.
Beautifully said. Okay, let's get into the actual phrases and structure. This is the practical part. Everyone listening, get a pen, get your phone notes, get ready to learn.
All right, let's start at the very beginning, the opening of your presentation. This is where most people feel the most nervous.
And it's also the most important part, because the first 30 seconds, that's when you either win the audience or lose them. First impressions matter.
So let's learn some powerful opening phrases. The first one is super simple and super effective.
Phrase number 1. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. My name is your name, and today I'm going to talk to you about...
Simple, clear, professional. Let's hear it again. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to improve your English speaking skills.
Perfect. Notice how she told us 3 things immediately. She greeted us, she introduced herself, and she told us exactly what the presentation is about.
Your audience needs to know those 3 things in the first 30 seconds. Who are you? What is this about? Why should I listen?
Now, here's a more powerful opening. Instead of just stating your topic, you start with a question, like this.
Phrase number 2. Have you ever stood in front of a room full of people and completely forgotten what to say?
Ooh, I love that. Why is that opening so good?
Because it immediately connects with your audience. You're speaking directly to their experience. They think, oh, yes, that's me. And now they're listening because they want to know, what's the solution?
Brilliant. You can use this for any topic. If you're presenting about health, have you ever felt so tired that you couldn't even think clearly? If you're presenting about technology, have you ever wondered how your phone knows exactly what you want to buy before you even search for it?
Questions pull people in. They engage the brain immediately.
Okay, one more powerful opening. This one uses a surprising fact or statistic.
Phrase number 3. Did you know that... Interesting fact.
For example, did you know that 75% of people say public speaking is their biggest fear, even bigger than the fear of death? Today, I want to help you be in the 25% who feel confident instead.
Wow. See how that immediately makes you want to know more? Facts create curiosity.
Now, a very common mistake. Many learners start with, my presentation is about, full stop, nothing else.
And the problem with that is?
It's flat. It doesn't engage anyone. The audience thinks, okay, so what? You haven't given them a reason to care yet.
So always add the reason, not just what your presentation is about, but why it matters to them.
Let's practice. Imagine you're giving a presentation about climate change. How would you open it using one of these 3 methods?
Everyone, pause for a moment. Seriously, think of your answer. How would you open? A greeting and topic? A question? A surprising fact? Think about it.
Okay, here's one example. Have you ever noticed that summers are getting hotter every year? Today, I want to talk about why this is happening and what each of us can actually do about it.
Engaging, personal, relevant. That's a strong opening. See the difference?
I love that image, a tour guide. They always tell you where you are, where you're going, and how long it will take.
Exactly. And you do the same thing with what we call signpost language, phrases that show the direction of your presentation.
Let's go through the key signpost phrases. First, how to outline your presentation at the beginning.
Phrase. Today, I'm going to cover 3 main points. First, second, and finally.
For example, today I'm going to cover 3 main points. First, why public speaking is so difficult. Second, the key phrases you need. And finally, how to practice so you feel confident.
Why is this so important?
Because it gives your audience a map. They know exactly what's coming. They don't have to guess or work hard to follow you. They can relax and listen.
Now, how do you move from one point to the next? This is where many learners get lost. They finish one point and then silence. They just start the next point with no transition.
So let's learn transition phrases. These are the glue between your points.
Transition phrase number 1. Now that we've looked at point 1, let's move on to point 2.
For example, now that we've looked at why people fear presentations, let's move on to the phrases that will help you feel more confident.
Beautiful, smooth,
professional. It connects the 2 points together.
Transition phrase number 2, this brings me to my next point, which is...
And transition phrase number 3, moving on now to super simple, super clean.
Now, here's a phrase many learners never use but should use all the time. Let me give you an example.
Oh, yes. Examples are your best friend in a presentation. They make abstract ideas feel real and easy to understand.
Compare these 2 sentences. Version 1, regular exercise improves mental health.
Okay, that's nice. A bit general.
Version 2, regular exercise improves mental health. For example, research shows that just 30 minutes of walking 3 times a week can reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression by up to 40%.
See the difference? The second one is so much more powerful. The number, the specific detail, it makes the audience actually believe you.
Other useful phrases. What I mean by this is great for explaining something more simply. In other words, also wonderful for simplifying. The key point here is brilliant for highlighting what really matters.
And my personal favorite for when someone asks a question you're not sure about, that's a great question. Let me think about that for a moment.
That one is gold. It buys you time, it makes you look thoughtful, and it's completely natural. Native speakers use it all the time.
Never say, I don't know, and stop. Always say, that's a great question, first, then think. It changes the whole energy. All right, now let's talk about the ending. The closing of your presentation is just as important as the opening.
Think about it. The ending is the last thing your audience hears. It's what stays in their memory. So don't just say, that's it, thank you, and sit down.
Yes, I've seen that so many times. Someone gives a great presentation and then just says, okay, finished, and the audience doesn't even know it's over.
A strong closing has 3 parts. Part 1, signal that you're ending. Part 2, summarize your main points. Part 3, end with a call to action or a memorable statement.
Let's do each one. Part 1, signaling the end. Phrase, in conclusion, or to wrap up, or before I finish, I'd like to summarize.
These phrases are like a bell ringing. They tell the audience, hey, we're almost done. Pay attention to this final part. The audience naturally focuses again.
Part 2, summarizing. Phrase, today we've talked about 3 things. First, second, and finally.
Same structure as the introduction, but now in past tense. For example, today we've talked about 3 things. First, why presentations feel scary in English. Second, powerful phrases for opening and moving through your presentation. And finally, how to close with confidence.
See how that ties everything together? The audience feels satisfied. They feel like they learned something complete.
Part 3, the call to action or memorable ending. This is where you leave them with something to do or something to think about.
Phrase option 1. I encourage you to, for example, I encourage you to practice these phrases at home today. Say them out loud, get comfortable with them.
Phrase option 2, I'd like to leave you with this thought. For example, I'd like to leave you with this thought. Every great speaker you admire was once a beginner who was terrified. The only difference is they kept practicing.
Ooh, that's powerful.
And then, always, always end with a thank you. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Simple, polite, professional, and it invites questions in a calm, confident way.
Now, a very common mistake in the closing. People say, okay, so yes, I think that is all I have. Thank you if you have questions. Okay.
Oh, we've all heard something like that. What's wrong with it, Jack?
Everything is rushed together. There's no clear signal that the presentation is ending. There's no summary, and the okay at the end sounds uncertain and weak. It feels unfinished.
Compare it to,
In conclusion, today we talked about how to open, structure, and close a presentation in English. I hope these phrases give you the confidence to present with pride. Thank you very much.
Night and day difference. One sounds professional and polished, the other sounds rushed and unsure.
Okay, we have all the phrases now, but I know some of you are thinking, even with the phrases, I'm still scared. What do I actually do about the fear itself?
Yes, let's talk about this, because knowing phrases is one thing, but the physical feeling of fear, the shaking hands, the fast heartbeat, that needs a different approach.
Tip number 1, reframe the nervousness. Here's a mindset shift that changed everything for me. Instead of thinking, I'm so scared, try thinking, I'm so excited.
Wait, really? That works?
It really does. Here's why. The physical feelings of nervousness and excitement are almost identical. Fast heartbeat? That's both. Shaking a little? Both. Butterflies in your stomach? Both. The only difference is how your brain labels it.
So if you say, I'm excited, instead of, I'm terrified, your brain actually starts to believe it, and you perform better.
Research from Harvard actually supports this. People who say, I'm excited before a presentation do significantly better than people who try to stay calm.
Fascinating. Tip number 2, practice out loud, not just in your head.
This is so important. So many learners prepare by reading their notes silently. That is not practice, that is reading. Real practice is speaking out loud, even if you're alone in your room.
Stand up, use your hands, look at an imaginary audience, hear your own voice saying the words. It feels silly the first time, but it builds real confidence.
Record yourself on your phone. I know. Nobody likes watching themselves back, but it is the fastest way to improve. You'll notice things you never noticed before. Tip number 3, know your first sentence perfectly. This is one of my best tips. You don't need to memorize your whole presentation, but memorize your very first sentence, word for word. Why? Because the first 5 seconds are the scariest. Once you get those first words out, once you hear your own voice speaking, the fear drops by about half. You realize, oh, I can do this. I'm doing it. And your brain relaxes.
That is brilliant practical advice. Know your opening sentence by heart. Everything else can be natural.
Tip number 4, and this might surprise you, speak slowly.
When we're nervous, we speak fast, really fast. We rush because we want it to be over. But fast speech is harder to understand and it sounds less confident.
Slow speech sounds powerful. It sounds confident. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. Pause between your sentences. Give people time to absorb your words.
A pause that feels like 5 seconds to you, to the audience, it feels like 2 seconds. You have more time than you think.
And tip number 5, connect with one friendly face. Find one person in the room who looks kind, who is nodding, who seems engaged, and speak to them, not the whole room, just that one person.
And then slowly expand your eye contact to others, but always return to your friendly face when you need a moment of calm.
It changes a terrifying audience of 50 into a conversation with one friend. Completely different feeling.
All right, let's put everything together. We're going to do a full mini presentation right now using all the phrases we've learned. Jessica, you're presenting. I'll be the audience.
Perfect. Okay, everyone, watch how all of this comes together. Here goes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica, and today I'm going to talk to you about the power of daily reading. Have you ever felt like your vocabulary just isn't growing fast enough no matter how much you study? If so, today's presentation is for you. Today, I'm going to cover 3 main points. First, why daily reading is the fastest way to improve your English. Second, what to read and how to read it. And finally, how to build a reading habit that actually sticks. Let's begin with my first point. Daily reading Even just 10 minutes exposes your brain to thousands of new words, structures, and expressions. Let me give you an example. A person who reads for 10 minutes a day encounters about 1 million words per year. That's 1 million opportunities to learn new vocabulary without even trying. Now that we've looked at why reading matters, let's move on to what and how to read. The key here is read things you enjoy. Not textbooks, not grammar books, real articles, stories, blogs about topics you love. This brings me to my final point, building the habit. The most important thing is to start small. Just 5 minutes a day, that's all. Read 1 page before bed. Keep it easy. Keep it enjoyable. In conclusion, today we've talked about why daily reading is powerful, what to read, and how to build a simple habit. I encourage you to start tonight. Just 1 page. See how it feels. Thank you very much for listening. I'm happy to answer any questions.
That was perfect. Did everyone hear how smooth that was? Let's break down what she did. She opened with a relatable question. She outlined 3 points clearly. She used transition phrases between each point. She gave a specific, memorable example, and she closed with a summary, a call to action, and a polite thank you.
And honestly, it felt comfortable because I had the structure. I had the phrases. I wasn't trying to invent the language. I was using the tools I already had.
That's the secret. Great presenters don't create under pressure. They prepare and then deliver. The creativity comes in the preparation, not in the moment.
Now it's your turn. Think of a topic, anything you know about. Your job, your hobby, your city, your family, and try using the structure we learned today.
Write a 3-sentence opening, give 1 example, and write a 2-sentence closing. That's your homework. Do it out loud, even if you're alone.
Mistake number 1, reading directly from your notes or slides. This kills connection with your audience. They can read. They don't need you to read to them.
The fix? Use bullet points as reminders, not full sentences. Glance at your notes, then look up and speak naturally.
Mistake number 2, speaking too quietly. Nervousness makes us shrink. We speak softly, we look down, we make ourselves small.
The fix? Before you start, take 1 deep breath and decide, I am going to fill this room with my voice. Even if you don't feel confident, speak as if you are. The body follows.
Mistake number 3, apologizing too much. Sorry, my English is not perfect. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Sorry if this is confusing.
Stop apologizing. Every time you apologize, you lower your credibility. Your audience came to learn from you. They want you to succeed. Don't undermine yourself before you even begin.
Instead, just present. If you make a mistake, correct it calmly and move on. Actually, let me rephrase that. Done, professional, clean.
Mistake number 4, no eye contact. Looking at the floor, the ceiling, the wall, anywhere but the audience.
Eye contact builds trust. It says, I'm talking to you, not at you. Practice looking at different people in the room for 2 to 3 seconds each.
And mistake number 5, no clear structure. Just talking and talking without direction. The audience gets lost and stops listening.
The fix? Today's lesson. Use the opening, body, closing structure. Use signpost phrases. Give your audience the map.
All right, let's do our final review. What did we cover today?
First, we talked about why presentations in English feel so scary and why that fear is completely normal and can be managed.
Then we learned powerful opening phrases, greeting your audience, asking a question, or sharing a surprising fact.
We learned signpost phrases to guide your audience through the presentation, outlining points, using transitions, giving examples.
We learned how to close powerfully, summarizing, calling to action, and thanking your audience.
We talked about 5 practical tips to manage fear, reframing nervousness as excitement, practicing out loud, knowing your first sentence, speaking slowly, and finding a friendly face.
And we identified the 5 most common mistakes and how to fix every single one.
That is a complete presentation toolkit right there. You have everything you need.
Remember, confidence doesn't come before the action. Confidence comes from the action. The more you present, the more confident you become. You can't get confidence sitting at home worrying.
So go practice. Stand in front of your mirror. Record yourself. Talk to your friends in English. Take every opportunity to speak.
And if you make mistakes, and you will, that is not failure. That is learning. Every mistake is one step closer to fluency.
If today's episode helped you, please hit the like button. It helps our channel grow and helps us reach more English learners who need these lessons.
And subscribe to A1 English Podcast if you haven't already. We upload new episodes every day, all designed to help you learn English naturally, practically, and with confidence.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
Keep practicing, keep improving, and remember, you've got this.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone!